Hey guys! So here we are again with another thrift flip video. Actually, ito talaga yung content na masasabi kong masarap gawin kasi it really gives me the opportunity to create and take my mind off of other things. So yeah, if you wanna see how we can make unloved things blossom some more, then just tune in. Alright, so first is, I thought of flipping this thrifted high-waisted denim shorts of mine. This has actually been with me for so long, pero alam nyo ba, hindi ko siya gaano sinusuot kasi feeling ko wala siya gaanong parang character, parang ganun. But I actually bought this because I remember Rachel from Friends wearing this one. By the way guys, flipping for me is not just about sewing. I think you can revamp stuff by doing anything that you want to do with it, just like an artwork. So for this, I thought of going a different road by painting white flowers on it, just to really make this blossom literally. Alam nyo actually, sobrang dali lang niya guys. First is, I drew several flowers around the denim fabric using a pencil. I actually wanted for it to look like a sunflower, but of course, as expected, the first one looked like a basic 5-petaled flower. But don't worry guys, syempre kailangan lang ng practice niyan, huwag kayong matakot. And as what I told you on my last video, perfection is not real. Dati kasi kapag gumagawa ako ng isang bagay, as in guys, grabe tumatagal talaga ako kasi nga gusto ko perfect siya. So ngayon alam nyo, mas magulo o mas hindi pare-pareho, mas okay, mas masaya ako kasi nga mas mukha siyang authentic at mas totoo. Actually minsan alam nyo, yung perfection na yan, yung mismong dahilan kung bakit hindi tayo makapagsimula ng isang bagay na gusto nating gawin kasi takot tayong magkamali. Hanggang sa, yun na nga, pagising mo, 8 years old ka na at hindi mo na nagawa yung gusto mong gawin. Pero actually guys, being a perfectionist is not a bad thing, pero don't let it outrun you or overcome yourself. Resisting failures and wanting to be perfect all the time ruin our biggest dreams. Kaya, easy lang. Anyway, so after that, I just used this white textile paint to paint on the whole flower design. Actually, I read that the rule here is that, of course, use a fabric or textile paint or an acrylic paint which says permanent, water-resistant, and flexible when dry. You should also paint on the denim with a white textile paint first before layering it with a colored one kasi hindi rin gaano makikita yung isang kulay kapag wala siyang white paint sa ilalim. So, white paint first, then let it dry before putting a yellow, blue, or purple paint, etc.
Beautiful mess we make. I don't wanna paint by numbers. That just ain't the way I wanna love ya. Baby, let the colors bleed. We don't need to keep it clean. Let's mix it all together for each other. Loving watercolor.
I just let it dry. Afterwards, tinapad ko lang siya sa electric fan for like mga 15 minutes and I continued to paint the yellow pistil part of the flower. I actually don't have a yellow textile paint but I have this acrylic one. I actually watched in a tutorial that he used this brand called Basic and it says at the back, actually binasa ko lang siya kanina guys, permanent, water resistant, and flexible when dry. Again. So I tried it and it really doesn't come off when washed. By the way guys, you can swatch the paint first if you're not sure para lang siguradong sigurado, and always read the label if it says that it's washable or not or if it's for a fabric or not.
Let's mix it all together for each other. Loving watercolor. Watercolor.
Just let it air dry again afterwards until it is completely and fully dry, and use a hot iron to really let it sit. Make sure to use a parchment paper or wax paper in between the iron and the denim to avoid ruining the painted design. Grabe, feeling ko I'm explaining something through that show called Art Attack, which is one of my favorite show before guys, just FYI.
What would you say to me after all this time? You tell me to
told you, it's just very easy, guys. Actually, alam nyo, excited na nga akong gumawa ng iba pa. Alam niyo yung parang mas pa-art pa na design. And it turned this kind of boring shorts of mine to something more with a character. Mas interesting, alam niyo yun. And pag ganito, syempre, mas masarap siyang suotin kasi gawa mo siya. And it's also a conversation starter kasi it's your art in the first place.
But you need to know that you didn't really lose me. I'm always with you every step of the way.
Okay, so second is revamping this thrifted white long sleeves that I have. I actually have this in black na nabili ko rin sa ukay-ukay and naisip kong medyo ibahin naman when it comes to this white one. So anyway, naalala nyo ba yung mga sheer tops nung 90s? Tapos meron silang mga sequins or mga cute little crochets on the sleeves and upper part area of the top. So yeah, I have this purple galaxy colored sequins and I thought of stitching them on those areas to achieve that 90s signature top that I never had. Anyway, so first is I mark the needed positions of the sequins of the sheer areas, aka dun nga sa sleeves and sa shoulder area using a pencil. I didn't measure anything, guys, and I just eyeballed everything basing them on that 90s top memory that I have. After marking my stitch targets, I used this purple thread to attach my galaxy sequins. By the way, what you can do is insert the sequin on the needle up to the fabric and lock it in by sewing the thread on the edges of the sequins. You can do this for like 2 to 3 times, but what's important is to fully secure the sequin and to also not cover it all up para makita pa rin yung design ng sequin itself. It's actually very easy, guys. Pero yun nga lang, aminin ko medyo matrabaho siya. But I really am fond of doing this because it gives me something more meaningful to do than scrolling on my phone. Alam niyo yun, ang sarap lang minsan talaga na kumbaga malos dun sa ginagawa mo. Tapos nakaka-relax pa siya at the same time. Well, this has been a bit of a long process because the fabric is also kind of fragile. But all in all, guys, sewing is becoming a hobby that I never thought I needed. Actually, alam niyo ba dati, after graduating college, mahilig na talaga akong manahe and mag-alter ng mga damit na nabibili ko sa ukay-ukay, tapos ibibenta ko sila online. But of course, adulting really made its way. But I'm really happy that this thing that I'm doing gave me the chance to go back to my first love. Minsan talaga kailangan mo lang malost or mawala para mahanap mo yung gusto mong gawin. Take it from me, guys. Losing and failing has been quite a friend of mine, but that's really part of the journey, right? You really haven't lived if you haven't failed kasi that's how we learn the hard lessons of life. Grabe, my 22-year-old negative self is shaking and I'm just so glad that after every failure before, I told myself na matatapos din to lahat. And yun nga, natapos nga sila, guys. And para talaga sa akin, tuloy-tuloy lang dapat talaga hindi ka tumitigil. Anyway, I've said so many things, guys. But actually, speaking of those memories, I have this sparkly plan to sell some beautiful pieces online. I've been wanting to do it again for so long and I think it's time, guys. It's time. So, after countless days of sewing these pretty sequins, here is how it looks like. I feel like I'm just living out my 90s style dreams with this top, and I also love how it gave this piece another life. I bought this for like 35 pesos before and it was just hanging there. I remember that it was just so dirty and it felt so unloved. But after giving it some TLC, patience, and a whole lot of time, it looks like this very timeless vintage piece who's just ready to live her life again. So those are two very special thrift flips. Just stay creating, guys, and always look on the other beautiful magical side of a vintage piece. Thank you so much and always have an inspired life. Bye!